Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing something that I put out on my Instagram. If you want to check it out, it's Check the Score Podcast _ on Instagram. I asked some of my followers to give me some questions to answer, and I'm going to actually give my opinion on them, but I'm also going to run them through ChatGPT and see what AI has to say about some of the most popular questions going around in sport. Okay, so the first question that I got asked was, who is the UFC featherweight GOAT? And submit. Okay, so ChatGPT, what it had to say was, the debate over the UFC featherweight GOAT, greatest of all time, usually centers around two main fighters. The first being Alexander Volkanovski, UFC champion from 2019 to 2024, with wins 3 times over Max Holloway, 1 time over Jose Aldo, Brian Ortega, Korean Zombie, and Yair Rodriguez. He defended the title 5 times and was undefeated at featherweight until losing his title in 2024, and known for his fight IQ, versatility, and consistency. And then the other person they've got is Jose Aldo, who is WEC featherweight champion, transitioned to become the first UFC featherweight champion, held the title from 2010 to 2015, which is combined from WEC and UFC, is the longest reign at featherweight, over 1,800 days, wins over Chad Mendes twice, Frankie Edgar, Kenny Florian, Uriah Faber, and more. And Prime Aldo was nearly untouchable for a decade. Honorable mention is someone like Max Holloway, former UFC featherweight champion with notable wins over Aldo twice, Brian Ortega, Frankie Edgar, Calvin Kattar, and Arnold Allen. Lost to Volkanovski 3 times, which affects his GOAT case despite a strong resume. ChatGPT's verdict is that Alexander Volkanovski is often considered the UFC featherweight GOAT due to his title defenses, dominant performances, and head-to-head wins over other greats like Holloway and Aldo. Aldo is often viewed as the overall featherweight GOAT, including WEC days, for his longevity, dominance in the pre-Volkanovski era. Would you like a comparison chart of their records and title reigns? No, I would not. But I think ChatGPT is spot on, at least in terms of being between someone like Volkanovski or someone like Jose Aldo. For me, maybe a bit of Aussie bias playing in, but I would have Alexander Volkanovski, I think for more formidable opponent, also going up to lightweight and trying to go for double champ status. Jose Aldo obviously lost his title infamously against Conor McGregor. But yeah, definitely a good question. And it's got to be between those two names, in my opinion. Okay, so the next question that I got was, who is the best Premier League manager of all time? Let's see what it has to say. I think there surely is only one answer to this. The title for best Premier League manager of all time is widely agreed to belong to Sir Alex Ferguson. Club Manchester United, Premier League titles 13 spanning from 1992 to 2013. He was manager from 1986 onwards until he retired in 2013. He won a total of 38 trophies, including 2 Champions Leagues, built multiple title-winning teams across different eras, known for his leadership, tactical adaptability, and ability to rebuild squads, set the standard for a long-term dominance in the Premier League era. Other legendary contenders, I'm not even going to go through the accolades, but Arsene Wenger of Arsenal, Pep Guardiola of Manchester City, and Jose Mourinho of Chelsea. ChatGPT's verdict is that Sir Alex Ferguson is the undisputed #1 due to his longevity, consistency, and silverware. Pep Guardiola is the closest modern contender and might eventually challenge Fergie's legacy in terms of quality, if not longevity. Yeah, I wouldn't even put Pep #2, to be honest. I think he's still a long way away off a guy like Arsene Wenger. I think Arsene Wenger being the manager of Arsenal for as long as he was, I think that's undisputed as #2, but Sir Alex Ferguson is definitely #1. Most Premier League titles in history, completely revolutionised football across multiple eras. Being the manager of a club for 27 years is almost unheard of nowadays, so he definitely has my #1 spot, despite the jersey I'm wearing, obviously. Of course I was going to say that. The next one, this one's a cool one. This one's probably more opinionated. I wonder if ChatGPT is actually going to answer something like this. Does the UFC need to introduce more lower weight divisions? This is a very topical one. A lot of people tend to talk about this. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say. That's a great question. It's something MMA fans and fighters have debated for years. Well, there you go. Reasons to introduce more lower weight classes. Small athletes are underserved. The UFC currently starts at flyweight, which is 125 pounds for men, and for male fighters, usually natural 115 to 120 pounds, often cut dangerously or excluded entirely. Safer weight cutting. More divisions can reduce extreme weight cutting by offering more natural weight classes like 165, 195, or a male 115. This mirrors boxing that has 17 weight classes, fewer drastic weight cuts. Growing global talent pool. Countries like Japan, Thailand, and Latin American nations produce elite lighter fighters. A men's strawweight 115 could open doors for fighters from these regions. More opportunities equals more stars. New divisions means more title belts, more champions, and more chances for fighters to break through. Reasons against it. Roster depth is already thin in some divisions. Men's divisions like flyweight 125 pounds and women's featherweight 145 pounds have struggled for depth and fan interest. Adding divisions without talent depth would water down quality. Too many titles can devalue the championship. Boxing suffers from this issue. Too many belts equals less prestige. UFC has historically preferred fewer elite divisions. Fan interest is uncertain. Lighter weight classes generally draw less mainstream attention. Power, knockouts, and bigger names are usually in heavier divisions. Verdict. A men's strawweight 115 pound and potentially a 165 pound between lightweight and welterweight are the realistic, justifiable additions, but any expansion should be cautious and supported by enough elite talent to maintain competitive standards. Would you be interested in a 115 pound male division or something like a 165 and 195 weight class? Okay, so it started off a bit slow. I think a 115 men's division isn't where the UFC should move. They already struggle to get enough contenders in 125 in my opinion, at least in the modern day UFC, but I think, in my opinion, the 15-pound jump from 155 to 170, 170 to 185, and 185 to 205 are way too extreme. I think going from 125, 35, 45, and 55, I think the 10-pound bracket between divisions is good. It also means you get movement of fighters. When fighters tend to go later into their career, they tend to move up weight classes. Look at guys like Alex Pereira. Jose Aldo technically moved down, but you know what I mean. Max Holloway's recently moved up to lightweight. You get a lot of people that tend to move weight classes as they age because it's just harder to cut that weight. So in my opinion, yes, they need to add weight classes. What I would do is I would add almost like a cruiserweight weight class. I think if you don't want to move 170 from where it is, what I would do is probably make middleweight a 180 weight class and then introduce like a 190, 195 weight class between middleweight and light heavyweight and make it a cruiserweight, which is a common belt you see in boxing. But yeah, definitely need to add weight classes. It's just about what size they add them in. I don't think lighter is the way to go. I think adding weight classes anywhere in between that welterweight to light heavyweight kind of realm will open up more fighters and breaking through the ranks, because let's be real, a guy like Dricus, I think he's a good 185 fighter because he's big enough to fight in that weight class and still not be a total weight bully. Whereas you had someone like Alex Pereira who was fighting at 185 and he's absolutely weight bullying everyone. He had to move up to 205, and even at 205, he walks around at about 230. So let's be real, I think like something like that. And also on top of that, maybe introducing how much weight you can cut, checking almost like hydration, introducing something like a hydration clause, or introducing something like what natural body weight you walk around at. I think that would be a smart thing to introduce, because yeah, something like a big 15-pound weight jump and then like a 20-pound weight jump from 185 to 205 is just ridiculous in my eyes. Great question, by the way. Great question. That is something I've been wanting to touch on for a while. Another question I got, well, it was the featherweight GOAT, which we already answered. Here's another one. An early top 4 prediction for the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup. Okay. Before it answers, I'm gonna have a guess and say Brazil, France, Germany, and Portugal are my 4. I think they're gonna be the 4 that get that far. I wonder what ChatGPT is gonna say. search on the web. Okay, as the 2026 FIFA World Cup approaches, early power ranking and expert analysis have identified several teams as strong contenders for the tournament's top positions. While the final outcomes remain uncertain, here's an overview of the teams frequently highlighted as potential semi-finalists. 1. Argentina. Current status: defending world champions. Key strengths: a blend of experienced players and emerging talents, maintaining a strong team cohesion under coach Lionel Scaloni. Recent form: consistent performances in international fixtures, bolstered by leadership of Lionel Messi. I mean, you can't write off the current World Cup champions, so that's kind of a valid one. 2. France. Consistency, ranked among the top teams globally. Key strength: a deep and talented squad with world-class players across all positions, and recent form indicates strong performances in recent international competitions, showcasing tactical flexibility and depth. 3. England. Okay, interesting one. Current status: a team with a blend of youth and experience. Key strengths: a dynamic attacking lineup and a solid defensive unit under the guidance of coach Thomas Tuchel. Recent form: competitive showings in European tournaments with a focus on developing young talents. And 4 is Brazil. Current status: a traditional powerhouse in world football. Key strengths: a rich history of success and a squad filled with flair and creativity. Recent form: while facing some challenges, Brazil remains a formidable force with the potential to perform on the world stage. These predictions are based on current team dynamics, recent performances, and expert analysis. However, the nature of international football means that surprises are always possible, and other teams may emerge as strong contenders as the tournament approaches. If you're interested in more detailed analysis or updates on specific teams, feel free to ask. I think Brazil is a given. I think with the rumors this week that Carlo Ancelotti is going to join, I think they are probably a nailed on thing for semi-finals. I like that England's included because I think they're a bit of an unknown at the moment, given that everything that's been going on with Thomas Tuchel, how he's going to line up his England squad. But they've been looking good recently in some of their international fixtures. And then, yeah, as I said, you can't write Argentina off, current world champions. And France, as always, they've got the depth beyond belief. Like their B team could probably make it to the quarterfinals in the World Cup. And the final question that I got asked was, how do you think Manchester United line up next season? Let's see what they say. Hope it's going to be good for my sake. Okay, Manchester United's lineup for the 25-26 season is set to undergo significant changes under new manager Ruben Amorim. With a focus on youth development, tactical flexibility, and strategic signings, here's an anticipated starting 11. Formation 3-4-2-1, which is Ruben Amorim's favourite formation. Goalkeeper Andre Onana, that's a surprising one. Despite speculation about his future, Onana remains a key figure in goal. Defenders: Lisandro Martinez, a mainstay in central defence, known for his leadership and defensive prowess, if he can stay fit. I can see him there. Lenny Yoro, the 19-year-old French defender, has impressed since joining, offering composure and ball-playing ability. Tyler Fredrickson, the 20-year-old American, has shown promise and could solidify his place in the back three. Wingbacks: Diogo Dalot provides width and attacking support on the right flank. Luke Shaw offers experience and balance on the left side. I could not disagree more. I think Patrick Dorgu is a nailed-on thing. You don't bring in a guy like him as your only signing as manager if you don't want to play him. And I think Diogo Dalot might be seeing his way out, or just as a squad player. I think he's a good squad player to have. Midfielders: Manuel Ugarte, the Uruguayan midfielder, brings energy and defensive solidity to the midfield. Kobe Mainu, the young English talent, is expected to step up, offering creativity and dynamism. Jack Fletcher, the 18-year-old, is son of Darren Fletcher, who is poised to partner Ugarte, known for his technical skills and intelligence. That is an outlandish one. Not having a guy like Bruno in the hole there, I think is crazy. Well, there you go. Attacking midfielders: Bruno Fernandes continues to be a creative force, dictating play and providing key passes. Alejandro Garnacho, the Argentine winger, is expected to take on a more central role, utilising his pace and flair. Oh my gosh, and striker Rasmus Højlund, the Danish forward, leads the line, bring physicality and finishing, or lack of finishing, ability. Key tactical shifts under Amorim. Youth integration. Amorim is committed to promoting its academy talents with players like Jack Fletcher and Tyler Fredrickson set to play significant roles. Flexible formation. The 3-4-2-1 setup allows for fluid transitions and adaptability, maximising the strengths of both experienced players and emerging talents. Strategic signings. While the focus is on the youth, the club is also exploring potential additions to strengthen key areas, including the goalkeeper position. This lineup reflects a balance between nurturing young talent and maintaining experienced leadership, positioning Manchester United for a competitive 25-26 season. I think that lineup is a load of crap. I think in essence, they haven't hinted at any signings. What I might add, what additional signings, this is my own question by the way, might you see Manchester United making for the 2025-26 season? Let's see what it says. Let's see what this says. Okay, let's have a go with this. Come on. Okay, before it says anything, we need a striker, we need a midfielder, we need a defender, a goalkeeper, and a wing back. They're the priorities. Okay. Manchester United are poised for a significant squad overhaul in the 25-26 season under Ruben Amorim. The club's disappointing attacking performance this season has underscored the need for reinforcements with a focus on bolstering the attack and potentially reshaping the squad. Here are the key signings Manchester United are targeting. Victor Gyökeres, that's a good start, that's a great start. Current club is playing at Sporting Lisbon, a prolific striker with 36 goals this season. Gyökeres is highly regarded for his finishing and movement. Connection, previously managed by Amorim at Sporting, which could facilitate a smooth transition. Status, United are in the pole position to secure a signature with Amorim's influence being a decisive factor. Thank God. Number two, continuing with the good theme, Matheus Cunha, currently playing for Wolverhampton Wanderers. The profile is a versatile forward capable of playing across the front line. Cunha has enjoyed a career best with 14 goals and 18 goal involvements in the league this season. Potential deal, United are preparing to offer a £62 million deal with a £200,000 a week contract. That is a mega deal, and I think he's worth every cent. He's been awesome this season. Liam Delap, continuing on the theme of forwards. Oh, okay, this is a bit delayed. It says current club is Stoke. He's obviously been signed for Ipswich Town. He has a £30 million release clause from his contract, and that's why we're obviously looking at him. He's a young striker with a strong goal-scoring record. Delap is seen as a promising talent. United are considering him as a potential addition to bolster their attacking options. I like it. Gregor Kobel, interesting. I haven't even heard of this one yet. Currently playing at Borussia Dortmund. The Swiss international goalkeeper Kobel has attracted interest from several Premier League clubs. United are monitoring his situation, especially if Dortmund fail to secure Champions League qualification, which could make him available for transfer. Brian Mbeumo, I like this one. A dynamic forward capable of playing both centrally and on the wings, and Mbeumo has been instrumental for Brentford this season. United are considering him as a potential addition to their attacking lineup. Potential departures, okay, here we go. Rasmus Højlund, despite a £72 million investment, Højlund has struggled with form and injuries, scoring only 4 league goals this season. His future at the club is uncertain, and he could be sold to fund new signings. Marcus Rashford, having been loaned out it should be January, to Aston Villa. Rashford's long-term future at United is a question. A permanent departure could be on the cards. Antony, the Brazilian winger's future at Old Trafford is certain, and he could now be sold to make room for new arrivals. Given how good he's been at Betis, I'm not surprised. And I like that. I think that's a good little profile there. I would have included like I would have included like another wingback personally. I think a guy like Frimpong on the right, he would suit the system really well. I think he's a good player to be looking at. But yeah, honestly, ChatGPT's been pretty good. I'm gonna throw it one more, just because we haven't hit on it. And my content's been centered around a lot of NRL recently. Let's throw an NRL question. Predict a few of the things that will happen in the 2025 NRL season. Let's see what it says. Well, a few of the things that will happen in the 25. Let's see what it says.
Okay, so this was recorded the day before I left for Magic Round. And yeah, some of these takes have aged like milk, given some of the team's performances in recent weeks. So yeah, apologies.
Let's see what it says. Surely. Surely there's some good stuff here. 2025 NRL season is shaping up to be one of the most unpredictable and exciting in recent memory, with teams like the Penrith Panthers aiming for an unpredictable 5th consecutive premiership, and others like the Brisbane Broncos and Cronulla Sharks looking to challenge the status quo. Here are some bold predictions for the season ahead. Okay, well this is going to age like milk. Penrith to secure a 5th premiership. Despite losing players like Jerome Luai and James Fisher-Harris, the Penrith Panthers remain a formidable force with Nathan Cleary leading the charge and a core squad intact until at least 2027. They are poised to continue their dominance in the NRL. Well, they just hit 17th. And for those who don't watch NRL, that is bottom of the ladder. So yeah, I'm very, very surprised with that. West Tigers will avoid the wooden spoon. After securing Jerome Luai from the Penrith Panthers, the Tigers are expected to improve significantly. While they may not make the finals, they are likely to finish higher than the bottom of the ladder, avoiding the dreaded wooden spoon. I could not agree more. They've been fantastic this season. The Brisbane Broncos to make a grand final appearance with the return of Ben Hunt and the leadership of Adam Reynolds. The Broncos are set to make a deep run into the finals. Their combination of experience and emerging talent positions them as a strong contender for the 2025 premiership. I like that. I definitely think they're going to make the top 8. Whether they can make the grand final, we'll wait to see. Canterbury Bulldogs to finish 5th. That's very specific. The Bulldogs are expected to be the best of the rest in 2025 with a solid roster and improved performances. They are likely to finish 5th, just outside the top 4, setting a strong foundation for future success. I had them at 4th, so not far off what I thought. Melbourne Storm to challenge for the premiership. Under the guidance of coach Greg Bellamy, the Storm are always a threat. With a strong squad and a history of success, they are expected to be strong contenders for the 2025 premiership. Kale Iro to top the try scoring charts. That's cool. The Sharks left edge featuring Braden Trindle, Kale Iro, and Ronaldo Mulatalo is poised to be one of the most damaging in the competition. Iro in particular is expected to score over 20 tries, leading the NRL in this category. Well, he was fantastic leading up to being injured. I think he was out for about 3 or 4 weeks, but he's back this week playing against Parramatta. So we'll wait to see, but he has been looking fantastic since the Sharks have put him in his starting side, including last year. Like last year and this year, he's been phenomenal. As for Melbourne, I think they're the favourites to win the premiership. Despite having a few rocky weeks, I think they'll be okay. Gold Coast Titans to provide entertainment. While the Titans may not be the most successful team in terms of wins, they're expected to be one of the most entertaining. Their dynamic style of play will keep fans on the edge of their seats throughout the season. They were hopeless on the weekend. Going up and having 2 first half leads in 2 weeks and blowing both of them is kind of just outrageous in my opinion. These predictions highlight the dynamic nature of the 2025 NRL season, with established teams looking to maintain their dominance and emerging clubs aiming to make their mark. As the season progresses, fans can expect thrilling matches and unexpected twists that will make this year's competition one to remember. And yeah, I think that was a good summary. A few little things I didn't expect there, but obviously some nailed on things like Melbourne. I think Brisbane making a grand final appearance isn't crazy. West Tigers to avoid the spoon also, but Penrith to win a premiership given the position they're in. Yeah, that's a bold call. Anyway, that has been asking ChatGPT some of my some sports questions just across a bunch of sports. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments. Heading up to Magic Round this weekend, might see if I can get a little bit of content. Not too much. I want to enjoy myself, but I'll try as much as I can to get a little bit of content. Maybe a little vlog or a few TikToks on the way. And that's the end of the video, and we'll see you in the next one.